Hi guys, so my name is Jessica Bull. I'm from Academy of Interactive Entertainment from Sydney campus. I am a game artist. So today I'm just going to be talking a little bit about what a game artist is, the roles that go underneath the title of a game artist, and how they work in the industry. And then we're going to go on to talking a little bit about your own personal project and how to start as a game artist and how to be most efficient as a game artist. That's the importance of iteration. So first off, you need to know what a game artist is. Well, basically a game artist is someone who creates the visuals that you see in the video game. It could be a card game or a board game maybe. So the next thing I want to show you is these roles that can go underneath a game artist title. So I'm just going to run down the list. So we have environmental artists. So environmental artist basically does all the environments that you see in games. A texture artist, these guys kind of put colour on top of the 3D models that other artists create to bring it to life. A character artist creates the characters. A rigger is someone who puts kind of like a skeleton inside a mesh or inside a character to help the animator animate. And then we have a layout artist, so these guys will get all the props and things like that and put them into game engine. They may also work along closely with game designers maybe. There's the user interface artist, so these guys you've probably seen in a lot of games where there's a health bar or a pickups little section where you can see what you've picked up, or maybe some weapons and things you've picked up, or even that nice little mini map that you see in the corner in some games as well, so they're in charge of that. There's the vehicle artist, so they obviously do the vehicles, and we have the prop artist. So prop artists, they make the filler objects to make the environment look realistic. So they might add a trash can or a barrel, a chair or a pile of books or something like that. We have a tech artist. So a tech artist basically is someone who bridge between an artist and a programmer to make the game work and to make sure the art assets can be easily integrated into a game engine or into the game. A lighting artist, they set up all the lights. VFX, so they do all the special effects, maybe explosions, particles, things like that. And then we have the cinematic artist. So you've probably seen a lot of cinematics these days in video games. So they're the cinematic artists. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about how these roles are then broken up into the industry in a large studio and a smaller studio. So it always depends what type of job that the studio is doing, or the size of the studio, depending on what positions or where these artists will go. So in a large studio like Ubisoft, who create Assassin's Creed, that's the picture on the left, in the development of this game they could have up to 900 people working on it at a time. This really allowed the entire team to break up into their specialized roles. So they would have had a whole team just working on like cloth simulation and how that would fall on different characters, and how flags and things and blankets and stuff would how they would move. And then there would have been like maybe a team working on certain types of buildings in certain areas or levels. And then on the other hand, we had Jetpack Joyride, which is the picture on the right hand side, which that was developed in Australia by Halfbrick. So that was only made with a handful of people, which was a small team. So the character artist would have worked on modeling the character, rigging the character, and animating the character maybe. So unlike Assassin's Creed, where all these departments would have been separated quite a lot. And if you break it down even more in the bigger studios, each of these areas, artists would also maybe be broken down even more. So we have Grand Theft Auto and the Environment Art Department team. They would have then broken down into interior teams, exterior teams, landmarks, population, roads, set dressing, and the list could probably go on a lot with that. So now that you know a little bit about what an artist is, game artist is, and the different types of roles that go underneath that title, so there's a lot of different areas. So now let's talk about your own project and how you'll get started as a game artist. So getting started, after you've come up with the game idea, that's probably where the game designer would have come into play. It's good to start to get references. So, create mood boards and just get a pile of different pictures. These pictures could come from anywhere, from films, maybe other games you like, photography maybe that you've done or someone else has done, traditional artworks, sculptures, anything. This collection of artwork should really demonstrate what the art is going to look like in the game, and in turn will really help the artist create the best type of art for that game. A lot of people make the mistake trying to create from imagination. This is not a good idea. Please don't do this. Get reference, because reference is key to success. So once you're been working on what the game will look like, and you're happy with your mood board and maybe your color palette and stuff like that, you can then move on to the development stage. So developing your game, this is really, really important to make sure that you start with the basics or the most important elements first. So that might be the characters or the main path where the character's walking. But make sure it's at just a blocky level or just a sketch. So in these images here, you can see the environment and the characters are very roughly drawn. So this allows for the artist to give it to the person working in the game engine, and gives time for the programmers and designers to make this character, how they walk, feel good and make sure the game is feeling good. And then with the 3D, you can see they've got the path leading up that's just made out of cubes and just simple shapes to represent trees and logs and stuff like that. So it's just really, really important to start simple. Don't spend a whole lot of time trying to finalize a product or like an asset or something like that and then put it into the game, because you might have wasted a whole lot of time, and maybe the asset doesn't even work in the game. Maybe it doesn't look right, or it doesn't work. The character might need a different type of rig or something like that. So it's always good to test often. So here is an example of a grey box. So if you're working in 3D, you may use a grey box. So essentially the first iteration should be what like the layout of, here we've got like a house, what the layout's going to be like. And then afterwards you would then go in a bit more detail. So in the second picture, they've just got just basic shapes again to represent what the room will look like. So that's what kind of environment iteration will look like, and then you'll go on further. So maybe start putting color in and making sure the color works well. Make sure that the player can walk around this environment without getting stuck on things and stuff like that. And then for characters, very, very important for characters to get in engine as fast as possible. This allows time for the programmers and the designers to work on how that character would move around and play a part of the game, because it is quite important to get the player or the character feeling good walking around, so the player can enjoy it a lot better. So you can see here the different types of iterations as it goes on through the pipeline, and then to the final beauty pass. Cool. And then just got some animation of what it will look like. So that's cool. And then I've got just the 2D. So start with your quick rough sketch of your character walking, and then they put that into engine and to make it feel right as a 2D sprite, and then going on to polishing it. I'm now going to just show you a personal project that I worked on a year ago. So this game I worked on was called Holy Moly, made by Blue Team Go. It was about over 4 months it was made in, and it was with a team of 5. We had 2 programmers, one of which was kind of more of a designer as well, and then we had 3 artists. So in our team, we had a character artist or a concept artist and character artist. She did all the concepts for all of that, and then she also worked on the UI elements in the game. We then had a tech artist who worked a lot in the game engine, making sure everything worked well, and also did the animation. So he was an animator and a tech artist. So because it was such a small team, we had to kind of take the roles of different areas. And then I was an environmental artist, and as you can see, we from the top left and then going down to the bottom right, we had lots of different thoughts of what the game would look like, because at the beginning we didn't spend enough time trying to work out getting our reference images that would really show what we wanted to make, and it was a bit hard for me to develop this environment because I didn't really know from our reference images of what to do. But it was good that I did a rough version of it and then put it into the game engine, and we tested it out with our characters running around on top, and we noticed that it just didn't work too well. So then we changed it. You can see the characters a little bit better, but your eyes still got lost amongst the background. So then we changed it again and again. So it was just really good that I did it quick and we got it into engine straight away after we, got our reference images. But we probably could have spent a little bit more time collecting our references and just working out what we really wanted. We would have probably saved a lot of time. And then our final version, which is the bottom right, that's what we end up with. And we're very happy with it. So that is my presentation. I'm going to show you one more thing. So what I talked about in this presentation was what a game artist is and the different roles that can go underneath that game artist title, and then getting started. So make sure you get references and make sure you know what you're doing before you actually start. And then also I talked about starting simple, putting it into engine, going back, refining it a lot more, and just getting those things into engine and focusing more on the gameplay. So make sure you test often. So now I'm just going to show you a program called Unity. So Unity is a game engine. It's free for you to download. So this isn't a modeling program. So you might want to use this program along with maybe Maya or Blender or 3ds Max. Maya is a good one. It's free. And same with Unity, so you can get started straight away trying to model some stuff and then put it into a game engine. But within Unity, they've got it set up so there's a terrain that you can put in, and with this terrain, you can, if your game's going to be 3D, you can just go in and start sculpting a mountain and where your character's going to walk, which is pretty cool. Pretty nice. And it's really simple to use. And then there's also, you can create 3D objects. So as I said before, it's not a modeling program, but they do have some basic shapes and cubes and things that you can represent as buildings and stuff. So before you actually got them modeled, you can just use these cubes as representation of what will be there later. So I just chucked in some buildings here. You can color them quickly just to, make sure that the color palette works. And then you can also, within Unity, they have some characters that you can just throw in straight away. They don't have to do too much programming. So we've got a character here, and then maybe later you can change it with your own character once that's been finished modeled. So this program, I can just hit play, and I can run around. I can feel that the characters probably are moving a little bit slow for my liking. And also maybe the height's a little bit off to what these buildings may be. This could be maybe a car, so that's height's maybe a little bit off. And then maybe this could be a trash can. So just making sure everything feels right when actually playing the game. So this is a great program to use when you're just getting started. Unity also comes with an asset store which is inbuilt. Which you can then buy, or a lot of things are free to download and then use within Unity to start your own projects. So that's very helpful as well. And also online, there's a Unity community, which is very helpful if you need help. You can probably just Google something, and the Unity community will be the top search there, which will really help you out. So I hope you've enjoyed my discussion on game artists and getting started. And thank you for listening, and go out and create.